There's a certain way that you can start bringing up finances without asking a man for the credit score, without asking, the woman how much money she got in her savings account. There are ways, and I have a free ebook that we're going to put inside today's show notes as well, to where how you can bring up the conversation around money, while you're dating, because I do believe that you should not get into a relationship, right, before any major commitment, which leads me to number 2. So I want you to have it early on in a relationship, have the conversation early on in a relationship. And how you do that, we'll put that inside of today's show notes. I have a free 10-page guide on the do's and don'ts of talking about money early on in a relationship. We'll put that in today's show notes. And here are the right questions and here are the wrong questions. But here's number 2, before major commitments. Like, I want you to have this conversation about money before any major commitment, before engagement, before a serious relationship, and really before making any significant financial commitments, right? Now, listen, again, remember, I practice Christianity. I will not be living with my wife before we get married. I don't believe in that. But a lot of you all who are watching me right now are living with your boyfriend, living with your girlfriend, and living with your partner. And I'm not knocking you at all. But here's my concern. Have you had a conversation about money? I didn't say you all should combine your finances. Do not do that until marriage. But if you're living together, you all should know, how much money do you make? How much money do I make? What is your credit score? What is my credit score? Where are we financially? How do you think financially? And I would have hoped you all had this conversation before moving in with each other. This is why I say, before you get into a serious relationship, before you call each other boyfriend or girlfriend, you see me doing quotes, because I don't believe for Anthony ONeal, I can't call my woman my girlfriend because she's not a girl. I'm 40 and she's not just my friend. So she's not my girlfriend. But for today's conversation, that's what we call it, right? This is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, cool, great. And whenever I have a woman, this is my lady and this is my woman, right? But before I get into a committed relationship, I do want to have a serious conversation about, hey, are we even on the same page financially? Outside of finances, I want to talk about, are we on the same page spiritually? Are we on the same page with how we desire to raise a family? And are we on the same page with our finances? And we tend to shy away from the conversation of finances, you guys. This is not good. And we can't shy away from that. So when it comes to when you start talking about money, number 1, early on in a relationship, right? Number 2, before any major commitments. And here's number 3, you got to do regular check-ins. You got to establish a routine for regular check-ins, financial check-ins, to discuss budgets, goals, and any concerns. You have to. Now, I've had an opportunity, right, to ask a lot of couples who are successful. And when I say successful couples, here's what I mean. They're not perfect. I mean, these are couples who've been married for 15, 20 years plus, right? These are people who said that they had financial hurdles, but they got over them and they haven't had financial hurdles since then. And so I've been able to study, these people to make sure that what I'm teaching is honestly 100% correct. So I'm going to give you some key things that you need to be doing in a relationship when it comes to money. And if you two can get on the same page with money and get this, what I'm about to give you today, I promise you, you will supersede a lot of your friends because you two are going to be on the same page financially. Here's number 1. You got to establish open communication. And I mean this, right? When I say establish open communication, you got to be transparent from the very, very beginning. You got to be open about your income. You got to be open and honest about your debts. You got to be open and honest about your spending habits. Anthony, what do you mean by spending habits? You may be the spender. You may be the saver. Anthony ONeal will be the saver in the relationship. I know that. I'm called cheap all the time and I have a lot of nice things, but I indulge on things like home, cars, vacation, but I don't need a lot of stuff. Like, I am the saver. My friends clown on me every single day, but did you really just have to pray over a $100 item? I sure did. Did you just have to budget for that? I sure did. But when I get married, I got to be honest and tell my wife, hey, I'm the saver, but she may be the spender. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And when I say transparency, we have transparency by simply having regular discussions about money. So even when you're dating, even when you're in a serious relationship, and especially when you're married, you should schedule regular money dates to review finances and adjust plans. With me right now, with me just dating, I want to have those kind of meetings. I want to know, like, babe, what are your business strategies? What are your savings goals? Like, I want to keep up to, I want her to keep me up to date on those goals, on what is she's doing. I want to be able to keep her up to date on my personal goals and have her hold me accountable. But I want to be transparent and honest, and I want her to feel safe to where she can be transparent and honest. And here's what I love. When we do this in the dating stages and in the relationship stages, it creates such a solid foundation to get us to our marriage. So by the time we get to our marriage, there's no secrets in marriages when it comes to our finances, because we've been so transparent for the last year, 2 years of us dating and being engaged. What's going on, E3 family? Are you ready to take your investment game to the next level? Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, the Moomoo app has got you covered. You see, Moomoo offers a powerful online trading platform that's perfect for investing in stocks and ETFs. I want you to imagine having a cutting-edge tool that not only simplifies your investment journey, but also provides real-time data to help you make informed decisions. That's what Moomoo delivers. And guess what? If you sign up this month, Moomoo will give you an incredible bonus of 20 free stocks. Yes, you heard that right, 20 free stocks just for joining the Moomoo family. It's a fantastic way to kickstart your portfolio and dive into the world of investing with confidence. With Moomoo, you're not just trading, you're building wealth and securing your financial future. So don't wait. Download the Moomoo app today. Claim your 20 free stocks and let's conquer the market together. Visit AnthonyONeal.com/Moomoo and get started today. Again, that's AnthonyONeal.com/Moomoo. MOOMOO. I can't tell you how many couples I have literally counseled and the man found out she had $40,000 in debt, or the man found out that she had $40,000 sitting in another savings account. The man found out she had her own financial goals, or vice versa. She found out some things about him financially that she didn't know. And it all started because they weren't transparent and honest in the very beginning, which leads me to number 2. You guys got to set shared financial goals. And these could be short-term goals. Plan for your immediate needs, such as your emergency funds, your vacation time, home improvement. If you're dating, this looks like, hey, we want to go on a vacation for the summer months that's coming up here. Let's set aside, babe, into, our savings account, our own personal savings account, just $500 or $1,000 each so we can have a great time on our vacation. If you're married, hey, we want to take our family on a vacation. Let's set aside money for that inside of our savings account. But this also can include your long-term goals, right? Discuss retirement plans, home ownership, investment strategies. Watch this, marriage. If you're dating someone and you all are, engaged, or you're talking about marriage, you should start saving for your wedding as soon as you all start talking about the conversation. Go open up a savings account together that none of you all have a debit card for and say, you know what, babe, we're going to be intentional about saving towards our marriage. And we're not going to borrow any money. We're going to put money into that. If our parents want to put money into that, and that's our marriage fund. That's our long-term goal fund. That's actually like short-term, long-term, half-term type goal, right? But you all have to come together and have a common shared financial goal, AKA it has to be a clear vision on where we're going and why are we going there. Which leads me to, the number 3 thing, which is you got to create a joint budget. Now, this is going to be for your married couples, right? You don't need this when you're dating because you're not combining your finances. But when you have a budget, you all should in the dating stages hold each other accountable, but you should not be combining your finances together until you say, I do. Not when you say, will you? Not when you say, we're boyfriend and girlfriends, but when you say, I do, that's when you say, I will combine my finances, right? But in the marriage stages, what I've seen with married couples, they had joint budgets. They had joint budget meetings. They went from separate budgets to one budget. They went from tracking income and expenses separately to together. You got to use budgeting tools and apps like Every Dollar is a great budgeting tool. My Wealth Building tool to really track your monthly expenses, be able to track your wealth building, right? And inside of the budgeting tool, you got to allocate your funds. You got to decide together how to allocate money for savings, bills, discretionary spending, and investments. You have to, because if you do not have one budget as a couple, that's two separate visions going down this way. If you want to save and pay cash for your kids' college, that needs to be on the budget. If you want to buy a house, that needs to be on the budget. If you want to buy a car, that needs to be on the budget. And we got to get out of saying my money. No, it's our money. I don't care if she don't work. I don't care if he don't work and you work. It's not your money. It is our money. Which leads me to number 4. You got to respect each other's financial desires and autonomy, right? Right? You got to respect that. So inside of the budget, what I suggest to every married couple, they have personal accounts. There's a personal account. So all the money goes into the main account, right? Then from there, we'll put money into the savings account that we don't touch. But then from there, we have our own personal accounts. I want you to maintain individual accounts for personal spending, right? While also having a joint account for your shared vision and expenses and etc. Prime example, inside of your budget meeting, when you have these meetings, you know, babe, I know you want to get that Louis Vuitton purse, or babe, I know you're going on vacation, or babe, you know, how much money do you need today to spend? And let's say in this account, you're giving her 500, you got 500. You don't have to come back and say, well, babe, I want to go buy this. No, is it within the budget that you have for the $500? If it is, cool, great. I know one couple that I mentored, she was getting $750 a month. Man, she saved that thing for like 4 months. I think she had like $4,000. Can't remember the exact amount, but she came home with a Louis Vuitton purse. And her husband was like, did you? She was like, no. I saved up because I know exactly what I wanted, and I didn't want to have to ask you, can I go get it? So I knew I had an allowance. So instead of me paying to get my nails and this and that, I just saved up, did my own nails, did my own hair, and I went and bought the purse out of the money that I didn't have to ask you about, because I know if I go into the savings or the main checking account, we got to have a meeting about that. And I just said, I'll wait for 4 months and I just save up on that fund. So there still is a level of like, okay, you can still go do what you want to do with the money that we've set aside for you to do. If you want to go buy a purse, if you want to go out to eat, if you want to do this, hey, that's in your funds. That's in your funds. But you got to set spending limits, right? So you got to agree on limits for discretionary spending to avoid conflicts. And the discretionary spending is, hey, you got $500 in discretionary spending. It's in your account. Hey, you got $1,000. Whatever that number is, you all got to sit down. And discretionary spending, when it comes to the spending limit, should not impact your vision. It shouldn't stop you from reaching your vision and reaching your goal and reaching to where you want to go with your money.